Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Bone podcast, where we talk about all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to be going to discuss the upcoming PolyMarket Token announcement and how you can potentially position yourself for an airdrop, how U.S. judges attacked the SEC regulation approach in their Coinbase case, and we'll take a little look over at the Caroline Ellison hearing today for her role in the FTX collapse. Good morning, Sig. Good morning, Kix. Thanks for joining me today. How you guys feeling? How you feeling, Kix?
Dude, feeling great, man. DraftKings has been giving me some no sweat parlays. So it's just free $10 to bet on parlays, and I hit them back-to-back days. So they better stop sending them to me because they're looking pretty dumb right now.
Who'd you take last night?
I took Commanders on the spread, Jaden Daniels anytime touchdown, Jamar Chase anytime touchdown.
Boom.
Nice. Plus 700, little three-leg parlay.
Nice. You got 2 touchdowns from Chase in that game, right? Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Chase was looking good. I also got him in fantasy, so it was great to see him finally fucking show up and do something, you know?
Yeah, love to see it. Happy football season's back. Love sitting on the couch on a Sunday and just crushing some games and some red zone. How you feeling today, Sig?
Yeah, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm with you, and I'm happy that you're making money, Kix.
It's like $6.
I'm hearing English words or American words like parlay. I'm hearing names of people, and I only just figured out what you're playing, and it's football. So good for you. And you know what? It actually got me thinking. Talking a bit about this PolyMarket thing, and it got me thinking. Kix, yesterday you were saying that you're looking for a narrative. You're looking for what is the thing of Q4? Maybe the narrative just is PolyMarket.
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Maybe that is what the new narrative is, rather than trying to like find things that we, trying to sort of like find a rhyme within history. It could just be PolyMarket this season. That's what I'm thinking.
Facts. I'll tell you what, because yesterday I went through CoinGecko and I was like, okay, Nick, be positive. Look at some of these new coins pump in, see their potential, blah, blah, blah. Start fucking like looking at these AI coins that are pumping and like looking at what they are. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I look at some of the gaming tokens because someone posted on Twitter like, oh, you missed the bottom on these fucking Rockstar gaming tokens. And I look at them and like what they're doing relative to their market cap. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Like, I don't know if I can delude myself into being like this fucking AI project that's renamed itself 3 times now in the past year, that just pumps 60%, that says it fucking like helps like communities and AI, join together as one. I'm like, what the fuck are we even talking about here? Like, you know what I mean? I think there's like pink slips on Wall Street that I could believe in, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's tough. The whole AI conversation is so tough. And, and it's, even people like, the name's gone now. Mark from, I think it was Mark from A16Z posted on the timeline. Might be him, but definitely somebody else from A16Z, was saying like how hard it is to identify this, like what's going to be the winners of this sector. And then you combine that with crypto and you're just like, okay, you got 2 completely young industries trying to come together to revolutionize things, trying to pick a token right now. It's like, I don't know, if you're not deep in the weeds, it definitely feels like you're just kind of picking a name in the top 100 and picking somewhere at the bottom because that one might run. AI, not really my skill set, but it could be a narrative, but then again, it might not be. I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to stick to what I know best. And I feel like what's going on with the whole PolyMarket narrative, I mean, we're going to get into it more in the show, but I think that's a good place to be putting your time into.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we're going to kick things off and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But before we do, let's dive into a little bit of Stream HQ. We're going to be running these game modes throughout the week behind the scenes. I've attached the game room link for these in the Twitter Spaces comments. It's pinned. And I've also commented it in the YouTube comments. So Stream HQ is like one of our favorite partners. Basically, they work to like provide additional engagement between audience and creators. So right now they have an overlay extension that you can put on top of Twitter. It'll show all these games that we're playing. We have some trivia we're going to be doing now that's live. We'll be playing the trivia game. We'll be doing the whack-a-mole. Basically, you're going to want to farm these games. They're an Animoca incubated project. So like there's only been 2 other Animoca incubated projects before. The first one being Open Campus. That's pretty successful. And then we just recently saw Mochaverse release their Mocha token. That absolutely cooked on release. So this is one to keep an eye out on. They're really going after the streaming platforms right now, just on Twitter, but they're going to be moving to YouTube, Twitch, etc., and giving some more of these like immersive games that you can play. I'm going to run the Whack-A-Mole stream drop right now. We're going to run trivia a little bit later, but I can give you a kind of a live look of what it looks like when you're actually playing, earning your points. You can watch me attempt to click all of these buttons and maybe get all 10 for the first time. But like I said, Animoca incubated project. Definitely going to want to check this one out. You earn points for participating. If you need to sign up, you can go to streamhq.xyz and sign up using the code Bodogos8888. So that's Bodogos and 4 8s. They're all lowercase. That'll get you signed up, and you can download the extension from their webpage, or you can go directly to the game room link and play on a mobile experience like I am playing right here. This is just the game room link. It's not the overlay. So I got 8 out of 10. I'm going to earn some points for this, and I'm going to keep stacking them for future rewards, if you know what that means. So big shout out to Stream. Love them as a partner. Love what they're building over there. Super excited to continue this partnership. But let's get onto it and jump into the weather report.
Let's do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, September 23rd. Looking at the crypto roundup, the majors chopped today with Bitcoin at 63.5. Ethereum sitting at 2,600 and Solana outperforming just shy of 150. The leading top 100 coin was WIF, which was up 14% on the day to a $1.9 billion market cap. Over the past 24 hours, news broke that PolyMarket is considering a Fusion token launch. The token launch would take place on the heels of a $50 million investment round. Next up, U.S. judges attacked the SEC's approach to crypto regulation. During their Coinbase hearing, one judge stated, "You won't even tell us how the Howey test applies to Bitcoin or Ether. Those tokens have been around for a long time. But you won't take a position in front of us as to whether Coinbase is safe if they deal or don't deal in Bitcoin and Ether." Finally, Caroline Ellison's sentencing hearing for her role in the FTX collapse is scheduled for today at 3 p.m. in New York City. PolyMarket currently has a no prison time as the favorite at 50% odds. That's it for the weather report. Good luck, Caroline. Back to you in the studio.
Great weather report as always, Kicks. Let's hang on this this Caroline Ellison story here. What do you think? You think she's gonna see some prison time? You take any bets on this one? Missed up first.
Missed it up first. Nope. I didn't take any bets on this. I don't feel like I got much of an edge here. I would lean, if you think she's a rat, also, she's like kind of like a meek looking lady, kind of a little feeble. Like I could see her getting no prison time. You know what I mean? Because I could see people looking at her and being like, this girl couldn't have been a mastermind in this with that Afro dude. Let's give her some probation and a big fine. Plus, I played golf with her dad at Stanford, so I'm not gonna send him to prison. You know what I mean? But really, I got no clue. Maybe they send her there for like a week just to be like, we did give her prison time.
Wasn't
I don't
like
think
the chief risk officer or something like that. I can't remember what exactly.
she was a
her job
CEO.
was. She was a CEO
Of Alameda.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of Alameda. Yeah. So I've seen her in a couple of interviews, and she isn't the most sort of. She's not a very warm person.
She's not warm.
You don't hear her speak and think, "I like you."
You wouldn't tell her to hug someone with hypothermia.
No. She comes across as like, actually a little bit similar to Sam in that way that they doesn't have much empathy when she speaks. And I think if you sort of combine that with her CEO role, I think there's room for her to take some accountability in this. I think it's going to be tough for her to come away with 0 prison time in this because she is a co-conspirator. She knew what was going on and she never blew the whistle. So I feel, and she's probably in those group chats as well.
But did she rat and roll on the big guy for a deal?
Yeah, but normally when you do that, it's like
You already
yes,
get a deal. You
yeah,
like it's
you
already
already got a
stamped on.
deal.
Yeah.
Like exactly. So I feel like
You're
she
pleading
might get
guilty. You're not even going to court. You're just like, bap, 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 bap.
FBI
Yeah.
gave me a deal. No,
Yeah.
but I feel like she's going to get a little bit of time here,
Yeah.
and it'd just be a good example for that whole FTX persona to just like roll them out, put them in a prison, and just set the example that anyone who's part of this goes down for some amount of time, be that Sam's 25 years, I think it was, or Ellison. So what are the options here, Ray? Can you scroll down? He's got no prison time at 51%, and then
So we got 1 to 11 months at 20%, and then 12 to 23 months at 23%. So 43% chance she goes to jail sometime between 1 month and 23 months. What happens if she's less than 1 month? Is that just not an option in terms of like
I think that'd be included in 1 month.
I'm going to put like 3 years on this. I'm going to smack 3 years on her.
3 years.
Yeah, I'm going to put about 3 years. So the 36 to 47 month.
Damn, don't fuck around with Signal.
That's like 3 to 4 years. Like 3, yeah.
Yeah, but she was like, she was a CEO of Alameda Reed, which was in bed with FTX on this. So and even if she did roll on Sam, she still knew what was going on. So even if they cut her a deal, it's be like, hey, do you want to go away for 20 plus years, or do you want to go roll on him and then we're only going to put you away for 3? I feel like less than 5 is what they'll be going for something like this. And 3, she can come out, she can still have a family, she's still young. Start pushing, over 5, the dating pool becomes smaller.
I think we're gonna see 1 to 11.
What's the point of putting her away? You might as well just put her on probation.
I love Signal. Can I vote for you, man? I feel like you run a goddamn.
I'm gonna be harsh on crime. I'm gonna be very harsh on crime.
Good.
But yeah, no, I hope she goes away. I hope she goes away for some time because she was clearly in on it. Her and Sam, they can like do the whole conjugational visits.
I got wrecked yesterday on Trump. I put some bets in before Tyrrell made his plays, kicks.
Just why are you doing yes on crypto, man?
I don't know. I said he just had that event. They're going to talk about fracking and energy. They might say like, "Hey, we need that energy for crypto." And like,
yeah, in Pennsylvania with the guys pulling up in their pickup trucks.
Like, I mean, just like not even like hammering on crypto, but like talking about.
But I mean, it must have felt good typing in 70 and seeing you could win 1,500. I'm sure that part of it felt good. Yeah,
yeah. Just a small little bet there.
Just a little nibble.
Yes, tampon, which was a loss, and I said no to 25 borders, which I'm assuming he just said 100. But I saw Tyrrell's picks after I had these already locked in. I was like, oh man, I should probably sell. But
sometimes you got to ride, dude.
Yeah, he clean sweeped it. It's just basically karma. I followed him. I lost like 2 of the 3, and now he's like, I don't follow him. Clean sweeps.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the thing, dude. It's, you can't bat 100, but he definitely has a winning batting rate. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolute killer job he's doing here. Have you seen anything that interests you lately? Any
on the PolyMarket side?
Yeah, any thoughts on well, I guess we should also mention like they have the token announcement. They're teasing a $50 million raise that's going to come with a token. I know you've been talking about this for a little bit now.
Yeah.
We're seeing like an investor round. There's going to be there's already a $70 million raise, 25 million Series A, 45 million Series B. So an additional $50 million raise, which is going to include some like token allocation.
Yeah.
So that makes it, I mean, interesting. What are some like, even if it's not like a good bet, like, are you making any plays to like help your volume on PolyMarket for a potential airdrop? Like, what are you doing to like kind of position yourself that way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't like wash trade. I see some dumb people wash trade. I think you'll, they'll just exclude those people doing that kind of stuff. But I do think like what you can do is you can put money in on like high percentage things, right? Just to get your volume up. That have a hard time duration to them, so they're kind of like an option, and you can just hold them for a couple of weeks, and you'll probably be able to sell them for a little bit of profit, and that way you're getting volume on the buy and the sell. So for example, it would be like Kamala Harris winning
popular vote.
That's a good one. 75%. I think that's probably a decent one. Although Trump's been polling pretty decently, but like even something like winning a state, like I don't know, like what's like Minnesota at? Yeah, like she's like 94% in like Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying like look for things that are like 94% chances and you have like really high confidence in, right? And this ends in 55 days. So like you would think that in 2 weeks it'll be 96%, right? And you can just like you could sell for a profit. So then you have like a buy or a sell. So you could look for things like that. I mean, you could try to market make some markets, but I would look for things that like have like resolutions coming up, right? Where like you can get your volume in, get a resolution, get some more volume in, get a resolution. Doing the speech markets, I think, can be good. But yeah, you really want to get your volume up. But I also think that you want to like, I think things like hold duration of things may be factored in, right? Amount of markets you traded, right? If I was trying to look for Sibblers, like what a Sibbler is going to do, right? Is they're going to buy something for 400, sell it for 395 immediately, right? They're not even going to hold the shares for more than a couple of seconds. And that's just the easiest thing to just like eliminate all of that as like non-valid volume. So like even just like you like Kamala or Trump, putting some money on that and just like holding that through duration, could help with it. And then it really comes down to timing, right? Like, so, I mean, they're out on the street looking for $50 million. I don't know how quickly they'd be able to like close that. Like the person I talked to seemed like it was pretty likely that it was going to be Q4 that this would come out, right? And so like would they try for like November or December? That may be like a tight window to try to raise $50 million, but I'm sure it's been done before.
I think they're going to have plenty of investors lining up because they've kind of taken over like the zeitgeist. You see them on like Bloomberg Terminal now. You see them in all of the like the main shows, like pointing to PolyMarket odds for like not only the election, but I saw some other things too. They were talking about like the debate market on PolyMarket on CNBC. So it's definitely getting a good amount of coverage. So I think they're not going to have trouble raising.
And it's pretty crazy, man. I mean, they almost got knocked out of business by a 3-letter regulator, right? Classic story. Trying to do anything innovative in America these days. I just like a random one that I kind of like, just because it's my state, Maryland Senate election winner. So not for the president, but Maryland Senate election winner. So you'd have to type it in, but it's like 90%. And the Democrats probably going to win. It's like 91.9. But the Republican that's running, he's the former governor. He was the governor from 2015 to 2023. He's like a Republican governor in a very Democratic state. And one election, one re-election. He's very like anti-Trump publicly, right? Like I think Trump endorsed him this cycle. And he's like, I don't want your endorsement. Just so everyone's clear, I didn't ask for this. I don't want it, right? Basically, he's kind of like a Joe Manchin from West Virginia, right? Where like Joe Manchin was a Democrat, but he kind of had some Republican values. Like it's the same with this guy, right? Here's the thing, dude. Okay, so they have the Democratic competitor. Her name's like Also Brooks or something like that. There was a post that came out. 1 out of 3 people in Maryland don't even know who she is, right? And so just in my head, I'm like, okay, Larry Hogan, he's won the president. He's been governor here 2 times in a row. Ton of bipartisan support. People go to the voting booth. They mark in Kamala, and then they look down and they look at the Senate, and they see, I don't know this Also Brooks person, but I know Hogan, and Hogan was great. Like, boom, let me check it, right? And I know that that's something the Democrats are worried about because I'm seeing posters around here where they're putting Harris, Also Brooks, like always vote Democrat. So they're literally trying to like educate people here, like, please, even if you don't know who this person is, like vote Democrat down the ticket, right? Because I think they're like concerned about that. Not saying he's going to win, but 91-10, I don't know. I think it should be like a 70-30. So if he gets some polls or stuff swinging in his direction, you could maybe get a little 3x trade. So that's my sleeper or my underdog pick of the week.
That's what
I
I
like
like about PolyMarket. There's always these bets that when you look at some things, you just feel like you just get a gut feeling that something like that feels undervalued. And like I would never know that about Maryland because I don't live there, but Kix has knowledge of that place. So if you're getting that like firsthand ground information, it just for me, I would be following Kix on this bet. Like whatever he says, I would just follow him on this bet because sometimes it just feels like whatever their statistical models are saying doesn't necessarily reflect sort of like the sentiment. And I go back to that handshake thing, which to me was like, I remember the PolyMarket bet
That was
like,
so fun.
will Trump and Harris like shake hands when the debate started? And it was like 70% no. And for me, I was like, that is such a weird sort of statistic to have, because why would the two parties just not come out and just say hi to each other? There's no reason to be so aggressive just on the first, just going out. It's not presidential in any way not to shake somebody's hand. So sometimes there's these bets where I feel like, okay, even though statistically they're saying, X candidate has a 91% chance of winning, when you hear the source on the ground, people actually don't even know who this person is. So I'd be following you, Kix, on this bet. And then basically that's how I would be getting my volume up so that I'm not just, spending money to be able to get the token and then losing money on the way.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put a lot on this just because it's like a 10% kind of thing, but these are the ones. And here's the interesting thing, right? I'm pretty sure on volume, can Hogan win Maryland without PG County? Great question, because I know she's from PG County. I'm not sure, man. I don't know enough about Maryland politics. I've just been here for a couple of years. But one of the interesting things with PolyMarket is when you bet on something, like your share gets counted as $1 of volume, regardless of the price that it's at. So like if you buy $100 worth of 10-cent things, your volume is going to be like almost 10 times higher than if you bought $100 of the 90% odds. I'm pretty sure. Someone should fact check me on this. But like, point being that if you take a lot of underdog bets, I think you get more volume counted.
That's an interesting strategy. So take some underdogs, and maybe even swing trade coming up to the election, like looking at some of these underdogs
Definitely
on these markets that have like a decent amount of liquidity, and you could potentially swing trade if there is some sort of like event that like lets you get out up money or even money after you've had a decent hold duration. You can exit with pretty low risk and then high upside, it sounds like, for the airdrop.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that like resolve in September, for example, right? That you can get your money in on, and like, no, hey, that's going to close up in like however many days, because that could be like another thing that could get counted, like how many shares you've held through resolution, right? Like who knows how they're going to structure it, but yeah, like so, like if you think Ohio's like in the bag for the Republicans, you can throw some money on there. It's a safe bet. You're going to get some volume. You'll make some money, and it'll resolve in a month and a half.
Like I was thinking take Democrat here, and then like any kind of Trump falter or Kamala like gain, then you just dump.
Yeah,
like
that could be a good strategy too, for sure. I don't hate that at all. I would maybe look at doing that in like Georgia, North Carolina. But I see what you're saying is you're like, hey, the 8%, I'm
Could
getting
become
higher
10,
volume counted.
25% gain, and you're getting the volume.
Yeah, for sure.
Kix, what's your view on, because you really play the politics, what's your view on playing different categories for this token? Do you think that's going to come into play, or do you think that this would just purely be a volume game and it doesn't matter which category you bet on?
It's a great question, right? Like, I think the biggest thing, because there's been sibling for 2-3 months now. I think their biggest thing is to like get rid of all like the clowns that are sibling. Anyone in crypto should hate sibblers, unless they are one. But I mean, like, will they? I could that very potentially. Here's the thing, Signal. They have tags. They're underneath the hood. So like, but if you look into like their data structure, they have tags for everything. So like, it's easy for them to be like, okay, how many different tagged markets did you trade across? Did you trade soccer? Did you trade football? Did you trade politics? Did you trade crypto? Did you trade pop culture? Did you trade business? Would that be like a big dinger in terms of the airdrop? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because like you would think that they would probably shape it more around just like what's good. I could definitely see them like rewarding you a little bit more if you've traded over a certain amount of markets. So maybe not even just a category, right? But if you've traded like 25 different markets, maybe you get a multiplier, an extra little bit to your airdrop, right? So versus someone that just sits around and just trades the presidential generation, election market over and over and just trades that one market. But even then, I don't think it's gonna be a massive difference. Like I definitely think volume will be a big factor. But I think that they will do something with kind of your whole duration or something to counteract people that are just like, okay, I'm going to buy 100 Kamala shares. Cool. Now I'm going to buy 100 Trump shares. Cool. Now I'm going to merge them, get my $100 back. Cool. Now I'm going to buy 100 of these. Cool. Now I'm going to buy 100 of theirs. People that are just spinning the wheels. So I think like they may look at like, cool, these people have been, like this profile bought $100,000 worth of volume and held all of those shares to resolution. That could be like the highest like green score, right? Versus like someone that's just like in and out, in and out, in and out. Their volume may get dinged a little bit, right?
Yeah, and also what I'm thinking is even like the participation rate when on some of these token airdrops, like you never know like what is the minimum threshold of how much you've had to have in volume to even qualify. Sometimes they can be surprisingly low and sometimes they can be surprisingly high. So it's always really tough to predict how an airdrop will happen, and will they only be rewarding whales or will they reward, smaller participants as well? So yeah, I think just kind of using the platform organically, like you and Tyrell have been doing, is basically probably going to be the winning strategy going into Q4.
Yeah, because if you try to like trick the system, you never know if you're going to get caught up in like a Sybil filter, right? And might as well just like do it. Yeah, exactly, JE. Yeah. So I mean, you could just make 2 accounts and bet the opposite sides of a bet. But you could even do that with 1 account. But if you're saying do it with 2 accounts so that they don't know that like they're connected, yes. But even that isn't risk free because there'll be like the spread, right? So like if there's a 2-cent spread and you put $100,000 in, 50,000 on one side, 50,000 on the other side, you'll lose basically $2,000. So like the best way is like if you can get your volume going on things that you believe in, right? And like have a potential to make money. Because that's like the Blur airdrop, right? Like there was people that farmed season 1 Blur airdrop and made money flipping the NFTs and then also got a fat airdrop on top, right? I don't like when you're like in the hole on an airdrop, right? You're spending money to farm for an airdrop. Like some people did that with Blast Gold and got wrecked, right? They're like, my average cost per gold is like $1 or whatever. I'm like, oof, I don't know if I could play that game. You know what I mean? If I was making money, sure. But yeah. But yeah, big airdrop. What does it come out at? $1 billion circulating?
I don't know. I think it's tough to say, but it will set the precedent for basically everything else.
If you want to just be a big grifter, you would just launch your own prediction market so that you could have a token ready when they launch, just to get kind of fly on their coattails.
That's probably what's going to happen, though. I think we're going to see a lot more of this happening. The raise, how this raise goes, which I think it will go well, will be super important. But also how this token drop goes well will kind of set the precedent for how probably the other predict markets then go on to do their token airdrops. Because I think a lot of people are not doing PolyMarket. I know that we talk about it a lot, but then I always see people being like, why are you still talking about PolyMarket so much? So let's see.
Ebrink says, will the token be on Polygon? Beanie says no. So just in case you want to know what Beanie thought on that.
Yeah, I saw that last night. He said hopefully they don't launch it on Matic. That's just like a recipe for disaster. I think 300 to 500 million is my guess for a token launch circulating. FTV,
there's vaporware crypto tokens out there that are more.
Yeah, but I think that I don't know if like having extra utility is like a bonus in this space. But no, I know what you're saying.
Kicks, I like what you just shared in a private chat. And so Kicks
Right? You going yes or no on that one? You know?
yeah, Kicks shared a link
Kick
saying, will
share
the
this
baby
one.
sex tapes be
Is this
released
your,
before November?
get some volume on the no here?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, what's the order book look like? Is there weight on it? Not really.
A couple $100.
You can still ping pong around a little bit, have fun.
That's hilarious because there's so much speculation around these tapes and who has been to these parties, and it sounds like everyone in Hollywood and also in politics has been to these parties, and well, basically everyone, and and your mum is on these tapes. So will they come out before November? I'm gonna say, if I was to take the bet on this FBI investigation, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes before the end of November.
Couple caveats here.
So it has to involve a sex act.
Oh,
and it
okay.
has to directly depict the genitals, but genitals of any individual shown. So it doesn't have to be Diddy's genitals.
But it could not feature Diddy. It could just be filmed on a property he owns.
Yeah.
So does he have any rentals out there? You might be able to make some money yourself here.
It says video must be authentic, not animated or AI altered. Else we could have snuck a good one in on him. But yeah, I don't know. That's the thing too, because I get like a lot of people don't like politics or not in the United States. So U.S. politics is like, betting on cricket for me, even though I think I would enjoy betting on cricket. But there's all sorts of different markets, right? There's business markets, science markets, pop culture. I mean, the wood thread guy interviewed Trump was 5-10xer for a lot of people. Highest grossing movie of 2024. Take the Other for Moana 2 coming out middle of November, right? Little 3x rally there.
That sounds really nice. In like terms of getting that volume play too. You get some volume down, you're sitting on 7%, it jumps to 9%. That's a nice gain right there. Like you don't realize like smaller moves on these smaller odds are really big in terms of return.
Yeah, 7 to 10% is almost 50% return.
Yeah, so I actually might take that today. I'm probably going to take the Caroline Ellison 1 year at 20%. Do you have any alpha on the speech today in Georgia? I didn't look at Tiriel's breakdown yesterday of how
it'd be Tiriel. I have no he runs the show on the speech markets. I'm good for a funny idea here or there, but let's pull it up. Let's see.
Yeah, so we've got the ones that I'm interested here. Border 15 plus times. He just dropped it 25 times. This is at 80%. This is going to be in Georgia.
Tell me about Georgia. Republican, Democrat. Well, like, what's the whole?
Used to be heavy Republican. A little bit more of like a in the game for both parties. Kamala or Biden won in 2020.
So we're looking at 60-30 here. Southern Republican leaning, but like you said, Democrats coming back as of late.
But yes, Southern. Definitely not going to talk cryptocurrency in Georgia. Let's let you know over there, Ray.
All right, so crypto, yes, at 6%. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it this time, and I'm not gonna take it after the show. It's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about.
Hero and I were following, these markets for like 5 markets in a week or whatever, and we're like, who the fuck is the yes on these crypto Bitcoin? And it was just Ray the whole time.
What's
right here?
What's the whole tips thing about?
Tax on tips, no tax on tips.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I would take tips. I would definitely take tips. Salt. What's salt about?
So salt is it's something to do with basically like people in rich states that have like high property taxes or whatever. They used to be able to like write off their high property taxes against their federal tax bill. But then in 2016, when Trump took over, the Republicans passed a law limiting it. So like they capped, there was like a salt cap. Basically like someone in New York City or New York would be, fucking pissed off, right? Because like their property taxes were maybe 30 grand a year, but they were able to write all of that off against their like federal income tax, and then it got capped, and so then they're like, they're out tens of thousands of dollars a year. So
Okay.
I always said I think that the salt thing is really why people hated Trump so bad in some of these coastal elite towns, because he hit him in the pocketbook with that one. So would he say that, Georgia? I don't know. Maybe not. But seems like people think he will.
What about Make America Affordable Again? Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, whoever came up with that one, right?
It sounds like my my 1-year-old when she's missing her mom.
Oh, dude, my God. Kids, when they want their mom, dude, it's like, dude, fucking grow up and handle life, okay? One day she's not going to be here. You're going to be by yourself. Figure it out. You're almost 2. Ask her where she is every 30 seconds. She's not here. She's out at Pilates.
Always at Pilates. Oh man, border 15 plus times, lock it in. This is the bet I'm making once we get off the show. Border 15 plus times. We're going to take Ellison one month to 1 year, and we're going to take the no on the Diddy sex tape, and we're just going to lock it down. That's the bets. We're making them. It's going to happen. Before we move on to our next topic, let's shout out Stream again. Stream is an Animoca incubated project. I'm getting ready to launch a stream drop. These are basically ways to earn points for future rewards for Stream. Linking the link in the YouTube chat. It's pinned to the Twitter space. If you don't have an account, go to app.streamq.xyz and sign up. You can use the code BODOGOS8888. That's BODOGOS and 4 8s, all lowercase. I'm going to drop a stream drop right now that you can take part in. Basically, you're going to be clicking some whack-a-mole. You're going to be able to earn future rewards. So if you look at the history of Animoca incubated projects, you have Open Campus, which has their own token, and you have Mochaverse, which also just released the Mocha token that was super successful upon its launch. So this is another project that is Animoca incubated. You're going to want to get involved. You're going to want to earn your points. Interact with us as we play different games. Right now we have trivia and whack-a-mole. I'll be running the trivia next. It has some Bodoggos themed trivia that you can participate in. They're coming out with more games all of the time. Really excited to be partnering with Stream, one of the companies that's building in this space and finding a real use case in crypto. Thanks again to Stream, and we're going to move right along to our next topic. What do you think here? Let's go with, you see this GameStop news, Kicks? Somebody
they got $4.8 million.
Yeah, somebody hit a Bitcoin for a $33 pack of cards.
They did what?
Yeah, they bought a $33 pack of physical trading cards and won a Bitcoin
At GameStop.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fucking
so
awesome.
Essentially,
when they started doing that.
It's called Cardsmith Currency Series 1 trading cards. I've never heard of this before, but I saw it today and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Well, that should be fine because Gary Gensler doesn't care about physical cards. So.
Yeah, absolutely fine. I mean, tell me this isn't just like NFTs in real life. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, man, that was a fucking smart dude. Look at all these guys doing NFTs. Let's go back to paper, but then stuff a fucking Bitcoin inside some of them.
Yep.
I don't know. I think of that.
Yep. Can win up to 1 Bitcoin. Chance of getting a cryptocurrency redemption code 1 in 96. You can win Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. I love how Litecoin's always included in these, or like Bitcoin Cash.
All right, let's go back to the article. Let's go back to the article real quick.
Yeah, like what should we shove in these things? Let's give them some Litecoin.
eBrank has me feeling sus here. Okay, who's Will McCurdy, dude? Would Will McCurdy take a bribe to put a fake news in? London-based journo.
GameStop tweeted about it.
I don't know.
A company that was formerly going bankrupt. GameStop is in the news a lot. They're doing incredibly well under the new CEO. I like this as a trading card game, because it's kind of like it's not an obvious trading card game, because everybody who's owning cryptocurrency, like they actually own it. And then who does this appeal to? It kind of appeals to just like the normal person who likes ripping packs and would probably have gone and ripped like a Pokemon pack instead, but they decided to do a cryptocurrency one. I mean, it's kind of wild that they found 1 Bitcoin in it. And even if it's fake, it's great marketing, because now we'll talk about it, even if it is fake.
Yeah, so like I'm wondering like who's like getting these and they're like looking at it as like, like sometimes you have like these weird ads or like sign up for this. They're like opening their pack. They're like, oh, stupid crypto card. I want a Bitcoin. Like, yeah, it's not worth anything, I bet. Like tossing it in the trash. They just want their art crypto cards. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I thought like it's fine that you can do that in the US, but you can't like do NFTs. So that was an interesting little quick hitter here. We also had some news come out from Telegram, switching gears a bit, that they're going to be sharing data with authorities if you break the rules of their program. So basically, if you break the app terms, they're going to be cooperating with authorities and sharing your information. So potential issues here for privacy and security. Like, I don't know your thoughts on this Signal and Kicks. Like, where do you think privacy sits kind of like in this digital, always connected age? Like, is it something that's going to be like a constant cat and mouse game with authorities, or is it something that like we're going to be able to solve?
You'll never have your own privacy unless the world changes in a significant way, unfortunately. That's just how it goes, dude. Unless like you know, some sort of new Satoshi can create some sort of way to pull it off. Because they'll do what they did to this guy to everyone. I mean, once in the United States, once they had to sign the Patriot Act, that was kind of GG on privacy. You know what I mean? Like in the United States, like people will think you're a conspiracy theory if you tell them this, but literally the NSA publicly, as stated, they put monitoring chips in every single public Wi-Fi. So you go to Starbucks, use a Wi-Fi, they're tracking all that shit. You go to the airport, hop on the airport Wi-Fi. Better not be looking at some weird stuff, buddy. Big Brother's watching you.
It kind of, this was always going to resolve to this. Like the guy was not going to be able to leave France and have his life back. And I imagine the French government put so much pressure on him that basically if he wanted to have a life and not be stuck in France, drinking really good wine, eating really good cheese and talking to beautiful women, they said to him, you need to do something about the private messaging. And it's, he's originally from Russia and he's leaving Russia to go to France, and then he gets arrested in France. So it sounds like he's stuck in a sort of like a rock and a hard place, either under the French authorities or he goes back to Russia, which is probably even worse for him. So what was he going to do? I think the direction we're going with apps like Telegram, I imagine we're going to see more of this, that it's actually going to become more and more difficult to be able to just have 100% privacy. I don't think that is really going to be possible in the
what do you think was like the underlying thing that like got him in trouble?
The underlying thing,
you think it was like drugs? You think it was like terrorists, or you think it was like they just want access to shit?
They just want access. They just want access to the back end of the app. I just think they want to see all messaging go through, because if the app actually is, I mean, whether or not illegal activity or legal activity was happening on there, agencies want full transparency and they want as much data as they can get. And if they can't get data, they'll find a way to get it.
Yeah, because I don't buy the whole like the next Osama bin Laden's on there like plot and shit. It's like, dude, you guys blowing pagers up in fucking Lebanon. I'm sure you got the terrorist game on lock.
Also as well, like when you think about how illegal activities are actually communicated, I imagine most of the time it's not the person just explicitly saying this is what we're about to do. Maybe some of those messages are, but most of the time
like talking in code and stuff, kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, just using different language to mean something else. So instead of saying the most obvious word, you use another word. I remember
the apple is red at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Signal. The apple is red at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Roger Eagle, the apple is red. No, but I remember I can't remember which terrorist attack it was, but they were communicating via draft emails. So they shared an email box, which obviously the NSA would have had access to, but they never sent the emails. So they'll be like, the apple is red, the apple is red. Then they would save it in drafts. The other person would log into the account and say, it's happening on Saturday, save it in drafts. So because the message was never sent, it was never like the actual plot was never uncovered. So this is why they want 100% transparency, and this is the direction that we're going to be moving into. I think it's going to be more and more difficult to have apps like Signal, to have Telegram, and all these privacy apps out there.
Signal. I always like Jack Ryan. You ever see Jack Ryan?
No.
Great show. You would like it. But the terrorists in season 1, they communicate in a video game, like an MMORPG, in the chat, and they like kind of use a little code language, but they like log into a game together. You know what I mean? And then they're playing the game, but they're. And AANFT said, what's the ticker? Guess what, buddy? I'm working on an idea for an e-commerce product.
Speaking of,
are you thinking of BubbleMap? Are you thinking of BubbleMap, Ray?
Let's take a look at the ticker from yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm not even looking. I don't even need to look at BubbleMaps right now, Sig.
So Kicks,
BubbleMap is just one big red dot, probably.
Yeah, we looked at
oh my god,
Peepoo. We looked at Peepoo BubbleMap just to like try and find your wallet and to see where you've been sending all the money to, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good. We didn't like the BubbleMap.
You know what this looks like right here? This looks like you put a heart rate monitor on a fly and I hit it with my electric fly swatter. And like right where it starts going crazy is its heart rate when I make a connection.
Yes, it went to 6 billion, this Peepoo token.
Was this just a honeypot?
I don't know.
Or just no liquidity.
That's $4 of liquidity. So that's probably part of it.
Dude, just imagine like your life is like a fucking pump fund rugger, dude. Like, man, that sucks. Glad I didn't buy any.
I'm actually kind of annoyed that I didn't pick Mother as my token this week, because I picked it. It did really well post conference, which is really unusual, because I picked it because going into the conference, I thought the debate would spike. I thought the debate would spike the token, which it did, but it actually, because of the party, it actually went up post. So I feel like Mother is not dead. At least Q4, Mother is not dead. We'll see what happens in 2025, but I feel like Mother still has legs this quarter, and Iggy is still in the conversation. So that's the best thing that could have happened for them for my Mother bags. But the Peepoo bags, I don't want to go near this kick. Sorry, I'm not going near Peepoo.
So this is the bubble map. We looked at this after the show yesterday. I loaded this up. We were looking at it, me and Sig. So basically what you're looking at here, each bubble represents a wallet, and each connection represents a transfer of Solana between addresses. So each of these bubbles has had Solana transferred in some way, like to or from them. So essentially you could think of this as potentially all the same wallet or the same owner. So this person owns 15% here. This cluster of 2 owns 13%. This cluster owns 10%. So like you're seeing, and then 2 big 5% clusters here. So like almost 50% of the token between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total holders.
I guess those AI tokens I was looking at don't look so bad now.
Yeah. And then we can also look at so that was looking at Solana transfers to Connect wallets. You can look at Peepoo transfers to Connect wallets, and here 15%.
That looks like the SARS-CoV virus right there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the same. Yeah, drag it around.
It's got the same amount of spikes on it.
Yeah. This one's got 15. This is the variant. Yeah, 15% there. So 30% between these two wallet clusters here, which is not so hot. So love to use bubble maps on new tokens just to kind of suss out anything that may be very fishy. And then looking at the price action on this, it's a good thing that I didn't follow Kicks into this after looking at the bubble map.
I think Nick would have followed it in. If Nick was on the show, he would have been mad.
Yeah, you would have got him right into the honeypot trap.
Well, since it has $4 of liquidity, I get a double or nothing, right?
Well, you do have Mudang, which is like almost up 2x. So Mudang is looking strong. Let me bring up that chart real quick.
Okay, so it's like a wash. Yeah,
so like you're almost break even through the 2 coins you pick. Yeah, up 48% on the day. This chart is just straight up. Very nice. I think we're around here yesterday, 47 to 64. I'm not in this, and I'm going to regret it. I just have a feeling this is going to be one that runs this cycle.
As long as that hippo stays small and cute and doesn't grow into a large hippo, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
I think on Friday we should all buy some Galaxy gas and do it and then trade meme coins. I bet we'd be more profitable.
I love that. Love that idea. I kind of want to look at Moon Dag now, or Moon Dang now.
Dang.
What are we on? This is Solana or is this ETH? Solana. So like this is an example of like a beautiful bubble map. There are like some big holders, but 1% each, not linked together by Sol. A couple small wallets that have a few transfers where they are only holding 1% ish. Looking at token transfers, so this could be a deployer wallet here, 5% total. This one's maybe spread holdings between 3 wallets, so that one is one to track. 3% there, 3% here, but nothing like the Peepoo where like 50% of the supply was controlled by 3 wallets. So this is definitely one of the better bubble maps, yeah, in terms of like what you're looking for.
You're welcome.
And I'm like just like I've been really digging into this. They're one of our favorite partners, and like it's just so useful. Like following Kix and Clemente as they're trading, and then looking at bubble maps for like some of the stuff they're talking about. Just feel like I'm a lot more informed when I'm looking at things like this.
I think one of the best things that you showed me yesterday on here, Ray, was actually the historical, because we were looking at Peepoo and we were saying, well, what does Peepoo look like when it was just released versus what does it look like now? And I think it's interesting to see like the evolution of what a bad token looks like historically as it becomes more distributed, which Peepoo hasn't, versus a token that, starts off looking really ugly with huge clusters and then actually in 4 or 5 days starts to look more distributed. It just gives you more confidence going into that token, as you see, like, because lots of tokens will be like, oh, this is a cabal token, etc. But like, unless you have the data sitting in front of you, it's really hard to actually know whether that is true or not. So this is easily one of my favorite tools now for analyzing meme coins.
Yeah, we did it with Mudang. So like this is Mudang when it initially launched. There's this huge 8% deployer cluster here and some other big wallets. They held like 3%, 2%. And then like you can click on the right side. I can then go to like
it has like different snapshots. That's cool.
Yeah. So like this is it 3 days after launch. The bubbles there's still some big bubbles, but like the linked wallets are getting smaller. You go another 2 days. Bubbles are kind of like dispersing, getting smaller, and you can kind of see it over time. Kind of get to a point where now you're at like a well dispersed bubble map. So like at launch, definitely things look a little more clustered, and you'll see some bigger tokens or bigger holders. But as you go on, you can follow it and kind of see the health of the token over time.
It's been a good week for alts, man.
It's been a very good week for alts. Ethereum on the 7-day, I believe, it's outperformed Bitcoin and Solana on the 7-day.
14%.
14% versus Solana at 13 and Bitcoin at 8. And so this feels, like you're saying, Kix, a really good week for the alts. And this is why I picked some ETH alts as well on the meme coin side, because I think they're still lagging and they can catch up. There could be more momentum there.
I like that.
BitTensor continuing to crush it, up another 7% over the last day. We talked about that a bit yesterday. 80% now on the 7-day.
Tau.
Weren't
people shilling the shit out of Tau? Like, I feel like they were shilling it in March of this year. So yeah, then it went down only. But then if you caught the bottom, dude, you're up almost 3x.
Yeah, February highs.
So this is like exactly like basically if you just counter the timeline, right? So you're like, because in March I remember like people shilling the hell out of it. Then I remember like a month ago people being like, that was the dumbest thing ever we bought. And that's when you should have bought.
Yep, up a nice little 2x. I think Elio Trades is in this one. I think this is one of his AI coins that he talks about a little bit. Some other L1s, Aptos, Suisse, doing well. Another AI coin, Wormhole.
Hey, look, Pups World Peace up 50%.
They're still massively off their all-time highs, because it didn't say go up to nearly $1.
Say, I know people were talking about say to $1.
Yeah, I think it got to like 96 cents.
Yeah,
I
it went to
want to
$1.
say.
It wicked
Yeah.
at $1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at like sort of like the macro of where some of these alts have actually been in the last 12 months, we're still way off, way off. So there's still a lot of room to run on the conviction alts that you have. So wait for a retrace, then go back in. I don't know. I wouldn't be in say personally, but I was in it and then got out. But it just feels like there's still some room to run on some alts in Q4, and finding the ones that haven't run yet could be a play for October.
Someone
then you
can
get some
someone
say
explain to me in one sentence what Tau does?
I have no idea. No clue. Is it say NFT season? Are we buying say NFTs again? One of the leading collections, 315 say at 30 cents is what? Less than $100? It's a good beta play, right?
I don't know.
Like
Crickets.
the silence tells you the answer there, Ray.
I think we're gonna come back, and that's gonna be a good play. Like the play yesterday I was talking about with these ordinals that continued to cook. Up another like 15 to 20% today. Node Monkeys up over 0.2. Bitcoin Puppets gained, I believe, 0.02. They were at 0.11 yesterday. Didn't make the buy. So still sitting on the sideline here, which I'm gonna regret.
How low did Bitcoin Puppets go?
They went to like 0.07, I think, maybe even lower.
Mm.
Yeah, 0.075 was the bottom. So up almost 50% from that low. And they got as high as, I believe, 0.4, 0.43. And I think they can get there again. So
Puppets are cool, man. It's about the only ordinal I'd chill out some coin for.
Rune's good on the day, like you said. Pups World Peace up 55%. Interesting to see that. I wonder, like, if ordinals do run, are runes going to run on the back of ordinals? Are people going to be dumping the top of runes or dumping the top of ordinals, buying runes? I don't know. But I'm definitely monitoring this. I'm probably just on the sideline now and feeling some FOMO. But maybe we retrace back. Every time they dip below 0.1, I want to jump in, but I just never do.
It's that classic meme where it's like, oh man, I'll wait for the price to get lower, and then the price gets lower, and you're like, this thing's stupid.
Yeah.
I'd be in ordinals before I'd be in runes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just
runes make just no sense to me, dude. I mean, I've said it and whatever. Like some of them went to $1 billion, but dude, you're trading NFTs with like numbers on them, dude. It's like on Ethereum, literally, if you made like ERC 1155s that were tokens and say that they're tokens, that's literally functionally what they are. Like, it's just facts. It's just what it is.
I agree with you. And then one thing that makes me nervous too about runes is I don't know if you guys were following, but Udi Wertheimer, the Taproot Wizard founder, made a post about catnip tokens. So essentially a new token protocol that they're going to be launching when like OpCat comes out if and when it comes out on Bitcoin.
Is that like a layer 2?
It's OpCat is a operation on Bitcoin, so it'd be part of the L1 Bitcoin. It just allows you to do different things with the code base that would like kind of enable some like additional Bitcoin functionality and efficiency.
Dude, Azukis are almost up to 6 ETH.
I missed that one today. Is that a run today, or is that something that?
No, it's like it's a slow cook over like the past like 3 months. But like if you bought 3 months ago, you bought it around like 3 ETH. You're almost up at a 2x quietly on Azukis, dude. That's cool.
It's looking like we're starting just to see who the breakout collections are going to be going into 2025. You got to
they bought anime.com. Like they're trying to be like they're going hard on the anime thing. And they're also doing the same like L2 play that like Penguins are kind of doing, right? If I recall correctly.
So basically the breakouts for going into 2025, which just seems to be the projects that are actually doing something, is going to be Pudgies, Yuga, Doodles, Azuki, That's all I can think of the top of my head right now. And then over on Sol, you got Klanos. It just seems like they're the ones that are actually doing something in the space with the investment that they've been given. Like if I put my money in that, shut my eyes, and then came back in 12 months, I'd be pretty confident that the price is higher than it is now. Because that's the direction they've all been slowly moving into after having like basically price crashing, consolidating for ages, and now slowly moving back up off the back of the events that happened in Asia. Oh yeah, D-Gods obviously have their token as well, but I'm not going to put them in the same bracket.
They're down only since they launched their token, down to 17.6 off 18.4 off a high post token right around 30. So they've almost hemorrhaged 50%. I haven't really heard much. And, you know, like I was saying before, like Frank's very good at marketing launches, but like after the launch, I'm nervous to see like what's coming and like how they can keep the excitement going, or like what they're going to be bringing to the DGOD token that's going to like sustain the momentum.
Maybe they have like a partnership with like McDonald's Happy Meal or something. What about Jack Butcher? Oh, Pepe. Oh my God. And Groovy just said it. My bet's on Jack Butcher. That's wild. I was literally just looking at O'Pepin's floor, 0.012.
Have you been following
pretty
what
close
they
to
like
all-time
have
lows.
changed to?
Nope.
Like, so it used to be, I think he picked the artists before and curated them. Now with O'Pepin's, you basically anybody can like submit a project with the template, and then like it gets minted if enough people like lock in their O'Pepin's to mint it.
That's cool.
So people, like all artists, can like throw in their like kind of hats into the ring, and you can say like yes or no to like some of these if you hold the O'Pepin's.
That's fun. A little swipe left and right, a little Tinder action.
Yeah. So I think these are ones that are so like you can see submissions. So like, yeah, these are all different. Like, look, here's a nice little ringer.
That's fun.
Yeah, so like I mean, there's definitely been some movement there with these. I like Jack Butcher. I think this is a good bet on Jack Butcher. You also have like
what's the quantity on O'Pepin? How many are there again?
So there's 15,834 total. Let's look at revealed. So 11,000 are still yet to be revealed. So these are people holding the unrevealed tokens to like mint one of the art collections, and it looks like 4,400 are revealed. The floor on the revealed is slightly below unrevealed at this point, but not very much.
People like a present that's on that's wrapped, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything. It could even be what's the Family Guy line? It could even be a boat.
Yeah, it could be whatever.
The play would be to get the unwrapped for sure.
Yeah. If you're holding for any period of time unwrapped, unless you have like some sort of like inside knowledge on an artist that has submitted something that could potentially pump, or if you're looking at like Provenance, I think there's like a Jack Butcher one. Like Jack Butcher made one himself, I believe. So like you could do like a Provenance play on a Jack Butcher revealed.
This reminds me, this is one of these types of collections where an artist, whether known or unknown, would do something within this collection and not many people would know about it. And then you'd get a run on the artist's main collection. And then someone would be like, oh, did you know that artist did one of the O'Pepins? And they would run. It reminds me of, I can't remember but there were bears. There was some kind of bear back in 2021. And Xcopy had done the legs or the arms or something. And there was this moment where everybody was trying to collect these bears. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk like wanted to get these bears because the bears had an arm from Xcopy or something like that. And this is the kind of collection where that would happen as well. So it's an interesting one to keep an eye on and to know who the names are of the artists within there, because you've got big names which came out at the beginning where Jack was curating them, and then obviously, as you're saying, you've got this sort of like community curation going on, and whoever might in the end up like becoming a breakout artist, Rust being a great example of that.
Yeah, this is the Russ piece. Russ is one of the great friends of the Nifty Doggo holder. I think he's done some art for us as well. I think he's releasing a set coming up on Foundation as well. But I know he has one of these O'Peppins. I'm a big Rust fan and holder, so a little bag bias, but big fan of his work. Yeah, I like the call with O'Peppins. Also checks, like curious what's going on there. I know they had the Bitcoin checks as well. I mean, this supply 5,000. You're looking at what 0.135 on the originals. I do think we see art continue to take off, and we've seen a lot of X copy sales. We've seen some other generative art collections get swept. It seems like the Jack Butcher stuff could be lagging and could be an interesting play. So this is something I'm going to take a deeper look at after the show today, for sure. Let's see. It's already been an hour. Time flies when you're having fun looking at some NFTs. Anything left you guys want to talk about before we wrap here? I know we covered most of the stuff I had out. Anything else? Any final thoughts?
Get your PolyMarket bets in.
Yep. All right. Well, before we wrap, I want to shout out our sponsor one more time, Stream HQ, Animoca Incubated project. So Animoca Incubated is a level deeper than Animoca Backed. Only have been 2 other Animoca Incubated projects. We had Open Campus and Mochaverse. Mochaverse had that successful Mocha token launch recently. But Stream is basically a new venture. They're basically trying to put a layer on top of content to help creators engage with their audience. So they have all these mini games you can play right now. This is their early access phase. To join, you can go to streamhq.xyz. You can sign up there using the code Bodoggos8888. That's Bodoggos and 4 8s on the website. Once you do, you can use the link that I shared in YouTube as well as on the Twitter Spaces. It's pinned there. You can join the stream drops. I'm about to launch the last stream drop of the day. A little whack-a-mole game here at the end of the day to kind of wrap things up. You're going to basically be playing these games, earning points, and these points are going to be used for future rewards. So if you could guess what that means, I would say you're a pretty smart person in this space. So you're going to want to take part of these. We're also running these in the background on almost all of our streams. So if you jump in another stream, you can open up our game room link and you'll see these running occasionally as we're having our show on normal scheduled programming. But yeah, play these games, earn your points. I'm earning them too in the background all the time. You're going to want these Animoca rewards. And again, big shout out to Stream. Love having them as a partner. Amazing product they're building, and they're building it the right way. But that's going to wrap it up for our show. Thanks, Kicks Signal. Thank you so much for joining today. Had a great show. Talked about a lot of fun stuff. Excited to put in some PolyMarket bets. If you want to catch this podcast, you can catch it on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. You can rewatch on YouTube to get a little bit of video action. We're sharing screens, showing you some of the things we're talking about there. But that's going to wrap it for today. Enjoy and have a